starts its reconstruction project in the Nhamatanda District of Mozambique after Cyclone Idai. Malaysia Tzu Chi volunteers care for a family of 12 without income during the pandemic. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Maggie Tsai. Thank you for joining us. In the aftermath of Cyclone Idai, Tzu Chi's charity work in Mozambique has continued. On July 17th, an elementary school in the Nhamatanda District started its construction process. It's the first rebuilding project Tzu Chi has done in the province of Sofala. The official members from the local government came to participate and pay much respect and appreciation to Love Sam from Taiwan.
Eu gostava de dizer que estamos a lançar em pouco tempo 25 salas. Estas 25 salas são, na verdade, o início de uma caminhada.
In 2019, Tropical Cyclone Idai had caused severe damage to Mozambique. An image of a girl saving books from floods is shocking.
I cried when I saw this girl trying to recover her books after Cyclone Idai. Now she is my goddaughter. I promised her to send her to school.
Education is a ray of hope. After Cyclone Idai, Tzu Chi's plan to rebuild an elementary school is the first aid project launched. Before the ceremony, tribal leader prayed to God. The governor of Sofala and the leaders of Nhamatanda were invited to the groundbreaking ceremony. There is bright sunlight along with minor raindrops, resembling a sign of auspiciousness.
Foi devastado pela esta senhora aqui.
Master Zhengyang was heartbroken when she heard of the horrible things during Cyclone Idai. Within 4 weeks, 55 countries, millions of volunteers have come together to fundraise on behalf of Mozambique.
55 países.
I'm very thankful and appreciative that Tzu Chi never left us. From the flooding last year till now, they have been aiding Nhamatanda.
After the cyclone, COVID strikes, but Tzu Chi never left the area and the aid project never stopped.
Our village produces things sufficient for our survival. I'm thankful for Tzu Chi's help ever since the cyclone.
After rebuilding the school, a new project of DaAi village construction quickly follows. This is to provide a better future and a stable environment for local children in Mozambique.
Navajo Nation occupy portion of northeastern Arizona, southeastern Utah, and northwestern New Mexico in the United States. The COVID-19 is a global pandemic, and cluster infections have also occurred in Navajo reservations in the desert area. Approximately 1/3 of homes do not have running water. Residents are unable to frequently wash their hands to prevent the virus. Upon learning their situation, Tzu Chi has distributed over 32,000 items of protective gear to Navajo Nation residents and healthcare workers.
Yeah, there's another one. In light of the COVID-19 picking up and really serious situation inside the Navajo Nations, they really need medical masks. 让你们看我怎么包啊！我通常都两个，OK， 你两排并行。对。这个放左边。This is our first trip to come to Gallup, New Mexico, in meeting with the Baha'i Faith group. Okay, let's go.
Baha'is worldwide are really committed to the empowerment of all peoples at the grassroots level. With Tzu Chi coming through with providing these masks and gloves, we can now allocate those funds to other needed assets or supplies like bleach. Everybody wants bleach, and it's hard to find. We're also offering produce when we can't find produce from, say, the food pantry.
Speak kind words, think good thoughts, do good deeds. and walk the right path.
Yeah. Very brave sentence, but it means it
Yeah, it means so much.
yeah,
It's
so
beautiful.
much. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So today we bring 1,600 of the KN95, okay? And then we have 4,000 level 1 medical mask, okay? And we bring 8 boxes of protective gown. Each one have 30 of it. So this is 240.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
We're located in a remote area, and a lot of the shipments are not easily accessible for us to get those supplies because most of our supplies are from across the country.
We go all the way. Andy, that's our KN95 mask, okay? Each bag have 200. For each layer, you can see there are 10 boxes, so 500. Okay, so there are
to have these volunteer networks come into formation now, I think is going to be really helpful in helping our communities respond to those future emergencies. I think that volunteer infrastructure is going to be really important in the future for saving additional lives.
Our goal is to reach out and help out the people who is in suffering. And so in that kind of spirits, such as gratitude and respect and great love.
Everything is not about materialistics, you know. As us Navajos, we have this what we call clan system. And that clan system is what holds us together. And we communicate and we help each other. You share this love and you share a lot of these interrelationships, and that's the way I look at your Tzu Chi Foundation, and we really appreciate that.
As the epidemic continues to spread globally, epidemic prevention work is vital. In Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur and Sri Lanka, Tzu Chi volunteers have delivered face shields to local schools. Volunteers also seized the opportunity to introduce Tzu Chi's plan to help students in need.
Tzu Chi volunteers visited local schools to give school staff face shields.
These face shields are handcrafted by Tzu Chi volunteers with the main goal protecting our teachers to give them more confidence. This way they can teach our children safely.
Students are going to come into school. We are going to having very big crowd over here. This is going to help the teacher to cover themselves and also protect the kids.
During this period, they might have problems.
Yes, that's right.
Because company shut down, shop closed. Our Tzu Chi Foundation will help the people. And then for those income below 3,000, they can apply.
While delivering face shields, volunteers also introduced their plan to help students in need.
I have told my students that if they have issues in life, don't be afraid to voice it out or be shy to receive help. When you have the capability, then you might give back to society.
Tzu Chi volunteers support the plan to help families in need, donating the coins they have saved up.
Saving 5 cents per day, it doesn't really affect our economic status and is doable amongst every person.
Every morning I go shopping at the market. Whatever changes are left, I save it and donate the amount to charity when there is a need.
Every small amount of coins saved per day has the potential to become an impactful force in the future.
As Malaysia implements movement control orders, students cannot go to school. Tzu Chi International School teacher has assigned students a 21-day challenge, hoping students will get into good habits at home. A high school student, Hee Jun, chose to take care of her younger brother. She became closer to her brother, who suffers from Down syndrome, through teaching him some vocabulary.
13-year-old Hee Jun is a high school student at Tzu Chi International School. To complete the 21-day challenge from the humanities class, she chose to make breakfast and take care of her younger brother.
More? More. Good. Teacher, good.
Hee Jun's younger brother has Down syndrome and needs extra care.
We also teach the younger brother to talk, but the effect is different. She might have her way of teaching.
He likes to play these kind of cards, so I might let him take a card and I asked him, "Can you say yes?" Then he would say, "Yeah" or "A." In the beginning, he might not be able to do this. After a week, he finally learned to say yes.
Saying yes and no is very simple for normal children, but when he said these words, I was very surprised and grateful.
Hee Jun has become more patient in the 21 days and a role model for her siblings.
Normally, when we ask her help to do something, she'll be a bit reluctant. But when the task is given by school, then she'll do it willingly.
In the beginning, when the teacher first assigned this challenge, I saw it as homework. However, after thinking about it, I think my younger brother is my sibling, so his responsibility is also mine. I need to help him.
A house in Malaysia, Kota Kinabalu, suffered from the epidemic as the 12 family members were unable to function properly without income. The entire family eats congee alone with salt. Upon hearing the news, Tzu Chi volunteers brought supplies and visited them.
Jadi bumbu saja?
Yeah.
Ikut garam?
Yeah. Garam sama ajinomoto. Supaya ada rasa sedikit lah.
Dokter, hari pun ini macam makan enggak?
Ya, sudah. Sebab kalau habis beras, nah tiadalah, kan tiada kerja lagi.
Hamsura's family lives at a water house in Kota Kinabalu. Previously, the husband provided income for the family, but during the epidemic, he lost the source of income.
Life is tough. I want to cry.
Kalau habis pun begitu, pergi tempat kedai-kedai yang ada.
If we finish our food, we're left with nothing, or going dead because we cannot pay for the items with our current situation.
Tzu Chi volunteers brought rice, salad oil, and other foods to solve the family's short-term needs.
家里剩下就是这一罐盐，还有就是米，剩下一碗了。
There's only a can of salt left and a bowl of rice. The children didn't have milk powder, so they resorted to drinking syrup. We immediately gave the children condensed milk when we visited.
Kalau tiada minum ini, kau minum apa? Apa? Kau tengok apa? Hah? Ay, gula. Kau lindu sudah susu tepung? Lindu kah? Iya.
3 months without paying the water and electrical bills. The family spends countless nights around a candle.
Ini minyak boleh 1 malam?
1 minggu.
1 minggu?
Ya, itulah yang kita ini. Itu kapas.
Oh, kapas.
Badak.
Kalau itu betul lah, kalau ini kapas kan ya cepat habis lah kan kalau kena bakar.
Ya, tapi ada minyak tidak lah.
Tzu Chi volunteers' visit made the family happy, relieving their burdens, and children began to smile once more.
Due to the epidemic, Tima's bi-monthly medical outreach in Kung Lao had stopped for half a year. Now that a free clinic had resumed, Tima members provided health calls again. Although Tima volunteers have not seen the local elderly for quite a while, they still bonded closely to the medical volunteers.
Northern District Tima members have taken this route for more than 10 years. They become old friends with the residents.
She often nags me, telling me that I can't do this or that. Things that I like the most are rejected.
Thanks to nurse Lu Yingying's mindful care, the senior scalp pain has been alleviated.
I'm very thankful.
Upon seeing city volunteers, 74-year-old Ling Lai could not hold back her tears as she can now express her worries. I hugged her as she cried. In fact, I feel comforted since that became an emotional outlet for her. The free clinic resumed after being forced to stop for half a year. The locals were happy to see city volunteers return.
Yes, I'm very happy.
Besides the free clinic, volunteers also provide house calls. In remote regions, the residents not only lack medical care, they also need companionship.
Whenever I visit some households, I see patients taking care of patients. It is very heartbreaking to see such situation.
I saw a senior laughing. She seemed to be in a good mood. I later discovered that her daughter was with her, and that's why she was happy. Despite the epidemic, the seniors still feel close to the volunteers, so the volunteers' visit has put a smile on everyone's face.
Next we meet Yang Zhizhao of Pingdong, who has been in Tzu Chi for 21 years. She was originally a housewife taking care of her family, but by joining Tzu Chi, she has expanded her care to the entire Tzu Chi family as a cooking volunteer. Currently, she and her husband are both devoted Tzu Chi volunteers.
This is my first job after marriage, being in Tzu Chi. I participate in sign language performance, recycling on home visits, but mostly I am a kitchen volunteer. I have been a kitchen volunteer for over 20 years now, and although it's without salary, I'm happy to take on the responsibility just like the masters had said.
Leaving the housewife role, Yang Zhizhao steps into Tzu Chi, but is still taking care of others here in Pingdong, while her husband, Qiu Binghui, takes care of the earth by sorting recyclables.
She's actually tougher, and I'm the easygoing one. My 3 children often ask me how I can be a military instructor that way. I tell them that back when I was an instructor, I didn't need to be mean. It was a different time.
Everyone thinks he says yes to everything, but I tell him I don't see him that way, because often when I ask him to do something, he won't do it. And I'll say to him, "You are not cooperating with me."
The two don't fight, and once he retired from the military, the husband joined his wife in being a volunteer. But more recently, the husband was diagnosed with Parkinson's, and now he walks a bit slower and cannot drive.
I joke that since I'm the driver, you need to listen to me.
She takes the wheel and drives them to where they need to go. The couple often conduct home visitations together.
The pair is really one of our model husband and wife on the team.
The husband and wife pair overcome physical health problems and vow to continue walking on the Tzu Chi path for all of eternity.
In Taiwan, in early years, drug abusers are usually punished with imprisonment. However, authorities have found out that the imprisoned drug abusers often have relapsed after leaving the prisons. Therefore, prosecutors now encourage drug abusers to undergo rehabilitation in the communities. In our report, we visited a drug abuser treatment center for teenagers in Nantou, Chielao.
At 7 o'clock in the morning, drug abstainers at Chielao Villa are ready to start their day. These youngsters take farming equipment and listen to the birds chirp. Now after they wake up, they no longer look for drugs, welcoming the morning.
When I first came here, I wanted to leave, but later, I have set some goals, and I know what I should do, so I no longer have frivolous thoughts.
Chela Villa is Taiwan's first community drug rehabilitation halfway house, a drug rehabilitation center outside prisons.
你觉得最主要这边是怎么样给你的力量？
生活作息吧，还有家人的。
好，手铐是这样子吗？还是需要连在一起？连在一起。
They've been under the influence of drugs for a long time. Can they overcome it? This is what this course teaches them.
我要弥补自己犯的错，过去犯的错，然后嘞，能撕开。
在这边我们是讲究的是生活。
At Chela Villa, we think that life is treatment. Every day, they practice living their daily lives without drugs. This is different from being punished in the prison.
是被处罚、被关，是不太一样的。
We will give the drug abusers deferred prosecution, but under the condition that he undergoes treatment for drug addiction, volunteers, or participates in educational programs.
For the past 7 years in Taiwan, the drug abusers who received deferred prosecution have increased from 2,000 people to 6,000 to 7,000 people. They abstain from drugs in the communities rather than being in prison. As a result, the detainees at drug treatment centers have decreased.
I am now at Taichung Drug Abuser Treatment Center. 2 years ago, this place took in more than 400 drug abusers. However, as the domestic policy has changed, more drug abusers are recovering in communities. Currently, the detainees here has dropped down to less than 300 people.
We found that the drug abusers still continue to use drugs after being in prison for 2, 3, or 5 years. So our country has realized that imprisonment cannot help solve the problem of drug abuse.
In the early years in Taiwan, drug abusers were treated as criminals. Then after Narcotics Endangerment Prevention Act was amended, drug abusers were treated as patients. As a result, first-time drug abusers are no longer in prison, but they undergo rehabilitation.
International researchers point out that drug abuse can be a brain-related illness. Drug abuser is not simply a criminal, but can be an offender will illness.
Drug abusers who went through rehabilitation will still receive discrimination.
Female drug abusers who underwent rehabilitation often end up on the streets because their families would not accept them. Then, they could take drugs again. Taichung Xingren has become a halfway house for female drug abstainers. It has been established for 20 years.
The value of the drug abuse can change. Many drug abusers are eager to make money after getting out of prison. Then, after they earn money, they end up buying drugs again. Halfway house can help calm their minds.
In Taiwan, there are multifaceted drug abstinence policy to help drug abusers. Drug abuse is similar to chronic illness, and the drug abusers need the support of their families and society to reintegrate into society.
Seniors in a nursing home in Guangdong province are recycling to keep their body and mind young. Take a look and see you next time.